Hello and welcome to Speaking Frankly. This is a podcast that covers all genres. We'll be talking to people from all walks of life. In each episode, we'll be engaging in captivating topics and explaining them in a straightforward but informative manner. As the title suggests, this will be an honest podcast with guests that shoot from the hip. Along the way, we will take a journey into the human mind by assessing the attitudes and characterizations that led people to their successes or their so-called failures. We are speaking frankly. Hello and welcome to Speaking Frankly. It's been a while since our last show. I've been busy as chairman of Skelmersdale United Football Club. So it's rather ironic really that today we're going to be talking about the mighty Skem amongst other things. Today's guests, Gordon Johnson, my vice chairman, who's also a former referee, all say boo. Boo. Mark Hayes is the former chairman of Ashton Town and Pilkington Football Club, and he's now sporting director at FC St Helens. Mark has also bagged his first paid job in football when he was recently appointed Business and Operations Manager of SMS International and Pro Soccer Experience. My final guest is our star guest. It's none other than, what's that coming over the hill? Is it a monster? No, it's Pascal Chimbonda.
Yeah, hello.
Pascal made his name in football playing for the likes of Wigan Athletic, Spurs, Sunderland and Blackburn, to name but a few. On the 15th of October this year, he was appointed manager of Skelmersdale United Football Club, and in the process created a media storm just as big as any he created during his Premier League days. Welcome to you all.
Cheers, Frank.
How are you all?
Good.
Good to be here.
Good, yes. I'll come to Mark first. Since we appointed Pascal, we've been inundated with media attention from radio, TV, and even a journalist who writes for the New York Times. And the question most often asked is how he managed to appoint Pascal in the first place. And I think you can answer part of that question.
Okay, yeah. Well, obviously, I've known Pascal for a fair few years. Pascal's been kind enough to play in the Legends game that I organise every year and has been a key member of that side. And part of that, I also, when I was at chairman at Ashton Town, got Pascal to play for a month, which was a unique experience and kind of follow on the medley that you've had at Skem. We kind of did the same, and Lequick from France wanted interviews and all sorts. It was really, really good. It was superb for the club for a month, to be fair, and hats off to Pascal for committing to that, because obviously when an ex-pro quits football, it's not on everybody's agenda to go into non-league football into the bottom tier as well. But Pascal did, and hats off.
Yeah. How did that come about? Obviously, you broached the subject with Pascal, but what made you come and play for Mark in the first place?
Because Mark is my friend. He's my good friend, so we know each other a long time ago. So when he proposed me to come play for him, so for me it was a pleasure, because he know how I love the game, and as well he's a good Wigan fan, so it was easy to me to say yes and just come play.
Yeah. So we had our first meeting at the Haydock Thistle Hotel, and what I remember is meeting a very self-assured man, despite the fact that you'd never really been considered for a job in football management. A week later we had a more formal interview at Castle International in Liverpool, and that confidence continued and led us to offering you the job. You've been a busy chap. How do you feel it's gone so far?
Well, he's gone. I won't say it's going well so far, but at the minute we try to do our best. Try to find a team, try to find the spirit, and I think when we get everything on board, and when I know everyone will know how to play to each other, and I think everything will gel. And I think at the minute we're trying to go to the right way, and I think definitely something will come from that group of players.
You're enjoying management as much as you enjoyed football? Playing football?
I can't say both, because playing football, I am on the pitch, you know, I part on the pitch, I play I do what I like to do. As a manager, it's different things because you have to manage like 20 players, you know, it's always different. You have to do the tactic, you have to do the training session, and as when you play football, you don't do all this, you know. So yes, it's completely two different things. But as I say, you know, I could keep playing football now, but you know, I decided to just focus on my coaching and do the best.
And what would you say is the biggest difference between a non-league player and a Premier League player? Apart from the fitness, of course.
Yes, part of the fitness, apart the training, because you know in semi-pro you're training twice a week, you know, and pro you're training every day. So that's a bit part different because as a pro you do what you like, it's a job. When you're a semi-pro, it's not a job because you have another job outside the football, you know. So yes, it's hard sometimes to manage both, but like I say, if you like to play football, if you enjoy to play football, so you can find time and to do all both in together.
Yeah. And what would be your advice for an ambitious young man who wants to play professional football?
Advice, yeah, it's just go with it, you know. If your goal, you know, make everything on your side to achieve it, you know, like how I do when I was young, you know. My dream was always to play football, and I did everything to make it happen. So my advice to a young is do the same, work hard, you know, dedication, you know, discipline and go for it, you know. It's like I say, it's not a million person who can say that they will be pro, but you know, if it's your dream, so go for it, and if it's happen, and if it doesn't happen, at least you will try and go for something else.
Yeah, we've had a lot of players that have had to drop down to our level that have gone back into playing professional football. I mean, Craig Noon is a classic example of that. He came from our youth system and eventually signed from Southport for Plymouth, and eventually played at Cardiff in the Premier League. So it does show that you can go on and play professional football even if you've hit the lower levels. What does a player have to do to impress Pascal Chimbonda?
To impress me? No, it don't have nothing to do impress me. Just do the right things, you know, how to control the ball, how to pass the ball, you know, like be them, you know, to be someone else and not, or try to be Ronaldo, try to be Messi, or you know, just be them, and everything will be all right with me, you know.
Yeah. And another question for you: what do you think about referees? Because you've already had a run-in with one of them when we beat Barnoldswick 4-1.
Yeah, but I think at this level, you know, the referee should higher the standard, you know, because you know at this level any foul they will whistle, because they need to know he's a man football, you know, and every contact is not fault, you know what I mean. So that's you need to understand at this level. But you know, the referee, you can't go against them. If they say is a foul, is a foul. If they say is a red card, is a red card. If they say yellow card, is a yellow card. So yes, and if you say something to them and they don't like it, they maybe give you a red card. So that's why sometimes you have to be careful what you say to the referee.
Right, Gordon. As a former referee, what would be your advice to Pascal as regards to his conduct in future games?
Well, you've got to talk to the officials, and the better officials, the ones who know the game, will talk with you. But there's a time and a place, because at the end of the day, they've got to concentrate on what's going on in front of them. Especially the assistant referee. I know Pascal alluded to assistant referee last night, who was giving him nothing. But for him to have dialogue with you, he's got to be at a stoppage in play. He's got to be near the technical area. There's no reason why he can't when he's there. But the level we're operating in the North West Counties League, we've got quite stringent rules, as we all know. And at the end of the game, you know, there's a 20-minute cooling off period, I think it's commonly referred to, where you're not supposed to approach the referee. It's a tough one, because where we're playing at, we're across the dugouts, across the opposite side from dressing rooms, everyone's walking across together, and most people go and shake the referee's hand anyway. Win, lose or draw, they'll go and shake the referee's hand, and it's just natural to want to discuss things. You've just got to take that step back and say, can I come and see you in 20 minutes, referee? Not always convenient because you want to go and debrief your squad, you want to get showered, but you've got to give them that 20-minute period, because otherwise, you know, we could fall foul the league and the FA, which we don't want to do. Some referees will say, oh, come and see me now, because they may have travelled a long way to the game, and they might say, I've got to leave early because I've a long way to go, or it's a Saturday afternoon and I'm actually going off to a function later, so come, we'll have a chat now. But don't go to them unless they invite you. But, you know, I say, can I come and see you in 20 minutes? Gives everyone a chance to cool down. And most referees will have the conversation with you. Just don't always expect them to agree with you.
Yeah, but if you give them 20 minutes, yeah, and you go back to the change room, 20 minutes you give. I think it's better if you, after the game, straight after the game, speak to the referee, because 20 minutes after you don't have, you go to the change room, like you say, discussion with your team, you know, and after you forget about this 20 minutes and just go. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I don't disagree with you, Pascal, but unfortunately it's the competition rules. The powers that be have put this rule in place, and you've got to give them the 20 minutes. And if you don't, and you carry on approaching the referee, then if the referee reports you, you know, you could face an FA charge, the club could face a charge or a fine. So we've got to respect that. But some referees will speak to you. Some will speak to you as they leave the field of play. Some will speak to you immediately after the game. That's what I was just saying. But you've got to be led by them. If they want to speak to you, speak to them. If not, you've just got to give them that cooling off period. Not ideal, but I'm just trying to help. I've been the other side of the fence, if you like. I used to like to speak to people. I certainly did after the game. Sometimes not immediately after the game, depending on what was going on around us coming off the field of play, but certainly I'd speak to people after the game in the dressing room. But it's 10 years since I've retired from sort of semi-pro, pro level referee. The rules have changed slightly, and
but is at this level referee being observed, you know, like on the game, you know, I mean, and say they have someone who come observe them, and after the game give them a feedback to say what's happening in the game, if they do it well or is they doing, you know, if it's happened, is that semi-pro or it's never happened, or
no, it happens, and it happened last night. There was an observer at the game last night, and normally the observer will go in that 20-minute period because they only do a quick.
So do we know what they say after, or we don't know?
No, we don't know. The report they report back via the FA. The referee gets to see the report, but that's confidential between the FA and the match officials. But there was, you know, like I say, the game last night, there was an observer there. They're not on every game, but I think we've had them more often than not at our home games, I think, this season. There's been an observer there.
So, there's a lesson from Gordon. So Pascal, you were born 44 years ago in Guadeloupe, a very hot Caribbean island, but I gather not a hotbed for talented footballers. So you had to leave your family behind and seek fame and fortune in France. How did that come about?
But you know, like just said, I wanted to play football, and it's only that way I leave my homeland, my family, my friend to go achieve my dream, and I made that sacrifice to live at 18 years old and to try to be a professional.
Yeah. So you've left Guadeloupe. You've gone to Le Havre first, is it?
Yeah.
And then Bastia before you moved to Wigan Athletic.
Yeah.
Where you had quite a season.
Yeah, it's not quite a season. Yeah, it was a good season for me, you know, for myself and for my teammate, even for Wigan, you know, come from championship and achieve the first season. Actually finished 10th in the league. You know, there's no many team doing this, but I think the player we got, the group we got, the manager we got, and the fan we got, it was unbelievable. You know, come to the English league and see this, you know, was give you goosebumps and to make you do well in the pitch, and I think that's what we all do, and it was quite good.
What was the transition like from playing in France and coming to the Premiership?
Transition is not a lot about transition. It's about the language.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I came to England, I couldn't speak any word in English. Like it was.
Well, it leads nicely up to my next question, really, because tell me about your transfer request and how it scuppered a potential move to Manchester United.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Like it's a mistake. Mistake is happening in life. When you don't know, and you listen to other people. It made you make a mistake. And if I have to do it again, I wouldn't. If I have to again, I wouldn't do it, again. So because you always learn about your mistake. Maybe this cost me a move to, like you say, Man United or any other team, And yes, maybe my career would go different way. But like I say, you live with no regret. So I take it.
Yeah. So off the back of a fantastic season with Wigan, you've managed to get selected for France's 2006 World Cup squad. And what made that more amazing is the fact that it was just after one season in the top flight. What were you feeling like that when that happened?
It's a good feeling. It's like everybody, everyone who play football, everyone who want to do the achieve the dream. Like I say, the World Cup was unbelievable when I get selected. Family was happy. Friend was happy, and I think I got my first son in 2006. So everything's come together and everything's make it good for me to go to the World Cup and be selected for the first time. And that something was unbelievable. Like when they won the World Cup in '98, I was still in my country, watching France winning that World Cup in front of my TV with my mom and tell her, you will see me, one day you will see me in the TV, in the same place, And look, eight years after it's happened.
Yeah.
So that's something unbelievable.
So eventually you got your dream move to Spurs when they agreed to pay £4.5 million for you. At that stage, did you feel as though you'd arrived on the big football stage?
Yeah, I could stay in Wigan, because I was.
Well, they weren't going to let you go, were they?
Yeah,
they wanted 6 million, didn't they?
Yeah, they wanted 6 million, but I wanted to stay, because I was enjoying my football there, But when you've been selected in the French national, and you say, oh, if you stay in Wigan, if the manager or the gonna to ring you, tell you to come again, because we Wigan we wasn't playing Europe, and Spurs give you the opportunity, that next step, in your career to play Europe every season. So yes, it was difficult decision, to make, but people always say, I go for money, I go for this, but seriously, it wasn't even about money at this time. It was just to try to stay in French national team and play Europa or Champions League football every season.
Is it fair to say you had a relatively short Premier League career? And was that due to the ligament damage that you sustained in a tackle with Frank Lampard?
Yeah, that's tackle, but it's okay, because I think I'm quite solid, So even after that tackle, I managed to finish the season with my legs, and back again in the new season again, So yes, the Premier League is tough, So you have to be prepared every game, you have to be prepared physically as well. So because you know how hard it is, how people come on you, go at you. So yes, you have to be prepared. But so that's why I never get any bad injury, while I was playing football. So yes, I can't touch wood today and say, yep, I couldn't do bad.
No. So you moved on to Sunderland, then quickly back to Spurs, before a couple of years at Blackburn Rovers. I gather your heart will always be with Spurs, but you've Who's been your favourite manager to work with? Because there's been a few over the years.
Yeah, but my first manager was Paul Joel, at Wigan. I think he was a good man,
Yeah.
I think, yes, I learned a lot from him, even I wasn't speaking English, but I learned a lot from him. And yeah, he was a good person with me, and I think when you have a manager always like you, always, make you feel welcome, so you can only give 100% for this manager every game. So that's what I do when I was at Wigan, because he was a lovely guy. And when I left, every time he say, if you have any problem, if you need me, I'm there. So yes, I will always be kind for this manager, And after, when I moved to Spurs, it was another Martin Joel, So yes, he was a good manager, Like I say, if you give everything on the pitch on a Saturday, and you leave everything, So yes, this manager can only give you love, If you don't do what they say, of course they won't give you any love. But me, I'm someone, you will see me lazy in training, but when in a Saturday or game day, I always give everything.
Mm-hmm. You had quite a few managers there at Spurs then, didn't you, by the looks of things? Clive Allen did the temporary job, and then Ramos, and was it Harry Redknapp?
Yeah, it was Harry Redknapp, Ramos, and yes, Clive, yeah. But the one most was preferred was Martin Joel, yeah.
Yeah. What was Harry Redknapp like?
I didn't stay long with him,
No.
So yeah, I spent 6 months with him. So yeah, I know his manager. I think his first manager brings Spurs to Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, he's give him credit, because he had a good group of players as well. So he could, if he didn't make that Champions League, it would be a mistake for him. But yeah, he bring them to the first Champions League Spurs, so you can't give him credit for that.
Yeah. Which manager would you have loved to have played under?
Me, I play under. Wow, at that time I would love to play maybe under what is his name, Klopp,
Yeah.
Pep, Fergie, Mourinho, that's type of manager I would, if I was playing football, I would like to play football under them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's a lot of great players that you played alongside. Who was your favourite player?
My favorite player in club, I think Berbatov, I would say,
Yeah.
Yeah, Berbatov, to his class on the pitch, he was one of my good friends as well when we play at Spurs. So yes, I could say yes, Berbatov.
Yeah. And if you could have a choice of player to play alongside now in the modern game,
In the
who
game
would you
now,
like to play alongside?
Now, what player would you like to play? Now, I would say Messi, innit? I would say Messi, yeah.
Still doing the business?
Yeah,
isn't
he's still doing the business, yeah.
he? Yeah. Coming to you, Mark. First of all, can I just say to anybody that has aspirations to be involved in non-league football off the field, take note and follow in Mark's footsteps. He's always inspired me, that's for sure. So how's the new job going, and what's it been like as sporting director of FC St Helens?
Yeah, the new job's been great, to be fair. It's quite a weird scenario not having a 9 to 5 and kind of creating your own contacts and being every day in football, which is just a pleasure to be in. So it's, concentrating on Americans and the Chinese coming over for UK experience, which is something that I'll be proud to do next year. So it's all about building for 2024, having the likes of Pascal alongside me as well to do coaching sessions. I think it's going to be a really good time next year of people coming over, and there's loads of interest of loads of states from America, so that's superb. But I always wanted to keep my hand in non-league football. I did one season at Pilkington, which was what I never planned to do one season, but the one season it ticked all the boxes that I needed to do. I was confident in my ability as somebody behind the scenes that I could help a club win a league and certainly get some silverware, and that's what we did in one season. with the help of Pascal, of course, because that was the first call, was bringing his academy lads through. What I kind of seen at Pilks the year before, as they tailed off, was they just didn't have that. They just didn't have that final desire to get over a finishing line. And something I've learned off Pascal, and obviously the way he talks as well, he's just passion. And when you've got somebody who's so enthralled in the game, you can only benefit from that. So I remember when we were at Ashton, we played a game. It was around the COVID time, so it was kind of behind closed doors friendly against Pascal's academy. And I thought I had a really good Ashton Town team at the time. And Pascal's academy taught us a lesson within about 20 minutes. I think we were 2 or 3-0 down. And some of them lads were just outstanding. I go back and I'll tell it to anybody, where Nelson was the one who, for me, just was a cut above. A centre half who came out playing from the back, so confident, so elegant in how he did it as well. He just had his players very, very well drilled. So when I seen Pilks towards the end of the season, I just knew that if I got Pascal's lads just to come and just give the club a push. And that wasn't to say we were going to sign every single player that Pascal had. That wasn't the plan at all. It was to bring players along to improve everybody on the pitch. What I took a lot of pride in, it was the likes of called Marcus Giglio, so Jig, the centre midfielder. What a player! Somebody you want in your side, centre mid, hard as they come, passes a ball sweet and all that type of stuff. But for me, as Pilks ended the season before, he just took the foot off the gas a little. Well, maybe just sit in second gear. And what Pascal's lads did was made him play in first gear, full stop, end of story. You had to be on the ball. Yeah. And that's what happened. So we ended up signing 4 or 5 of Pascal's lads, absolutely superb, and we won a league, and that was my proof in the pudding. But I couldn't be without non-league football, so yeah, I've got my dream moving in a paid job in football, which still gives me the time to do non-league alongside. So FC St Helens, I had quite a few clubs contact me, but it was always going to take something special to do and to come back into non-league and give me all, because I only know one way, which is to give me all, and appreciate the kind comments that you said as well. I've been in non-league now for 16 years it is, and you kind of dedicate a hell of a lot of your life to it, but it's the game that we love. And what you put in is a firm believer of what you get out of it. So yeah, FC St Helens sporting director, working alongside Steve Leather, the chairman there, who, to be fair, FC St Helens, for people what people don't know, only formed in 2014, and they're on an outstanding journey. It's 10 years this year. Hopefully we can get a league win under the belt for that one. But yeah, it's set up well. A lot of the legwork that I did at Ashton, which took me 10 years plus, has already been done at FC St Helens, so I can come in and do the extras on it. So it's ran well financially. It's fine. It's got the grounds to develop, and it's now for me to come on board now and just to get it kicking on a little bit more, and to build with the international links that I'm obviously going to bring as well with my pay job.
Yeah, St Helens, being a rugby league town, now supports 3 non-league football clubs. That's quite bizarre, really, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly for 3 in one town. I think rugby league is something that I've been challenged to be in alongside football all my career, because obviously we're Wigan, a Wigan Athletic fan as well, was always us and them in the rugby, but on the agenda now is certainly working on the same front. The clubs need to work together to be stronger. But yeah, at Ashton it was very hard. It was, again, Wigan's always been known as a rugby town, as is St Helens, but to have 3 non-league clubs and all doing well, as much as St Helens Town are in a league, quite a few leagues below, they're settled very, very well. They've probably got a bigger fan base than the other 2 put together, which is credit to the lads who have got it, the lads who are the new owners there.
Yeah. So, Gordon, we're all involved in non-league football club. I think we personally struck up a pretty good partnership in the short period of time that we've both been involved at the football club. And I know that you've been working hard off the field to put things right, but how difficult has it been since you joined the club?
Where do you begin? I mean, obviously, I was involved at Ashton Town with Mark for a couple of years, and I left Ashton Town in February 2 years ago now, coming up 2 years, and it's funny, in that period I was involved on the council in West Lancashire, and I became the mayor of West Lancashire. In that period it was the 50th anniversary of Skem winning the FA Amateur Cup, so as part of that I did a charity fundraising event but involved the football club, and actually got the FA Amateur Cup on loan from the Football Museum, brought it back to Skelmersdale for the first time in 50 years. As a result of that, although I'd spoken with Mark, and I knew at the time he was going on to Pilkington, and I loved the involvement in the non-league football. I was going to Pilkington with him, but I was approached by the then committee at Skelmersdale asking me to come on board with them. And we had a conversation, Mark and myself, and I said, look, this is my local team. I can't walk away from this. And so I took up the offer to get involved with Skem, which at the time had just been promoted, and going into the Northern Premier League. I thought, what a great time to be joining the club. Obviously I didn't realise the issues behind the scenes, which are well documented, and history now that we're trying to put right. So, albeit the first season was an interesting one, a good season, finished well in the Northern Prem. The ground grading issues came back to bite us again, having been, well, going back to the JMO pitch.
Can you explain the FIFA bounce test? Because
well, I'd love to try and explain it, but ultimately, if you're on an artificial pitch, annually, it's got to pass his feet for bounce test if you're playing at North West Counties level and above. The JMO pitch, which is, I think it's been down about 14 years, unfortunately, it failed the bounce test the year Skem had been promoted. So we ended up displaced to Berska. We played our year in the Northern Premier League at Berska with a view to trying to get a JMO back to Northern Prem standard and FIFA bounce test standard, or the alternative was to work in conjunction with Berska Football Club and do ground improvements there. As it happens, neither came off, so we ended up relegated again. Obviously we're still at Berska, but at the end of that season, all of the committee, the directors left, which I wasn't expecting 12 months down the line for everyone just to walk away. So it sort of left me in a difficult situation.
in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, which is when obviously we had a conversation, and I knew your involvement with Skem from many years ago when I used to go officiating. I was the go-to referee for pitch inspections and the like at the old Stormy Corner, and even White Moss Park just before the move from there. And thankfully I managed to reignite your passion for the club and get you involved, because I needed the support, and I know we've still got issues to work on, but we've kept the club going, and we will keep the club going, and we will get the club back to Skem. But as you know, it's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's been a difficult one, and a lot of political shenanigans gone past, but we're hoping that people can think beyond that and be a little bit more relaxed and a bit more forgiving. But yeah, I sometimes question my sanity getting back involved with football, but once you do, you realise the passion's still burning as strong as it was. And I certainly think for Mark, I don't know how you've managed to do it, because you probably had more setbacks than most. I mean, you've been involved with several football clubs, not just the one. I've had to tip my toes sort of in Southport for a short period of time. And if you look into the sort of historical side of these football clubs, they've all had issues. It's not easy, is it?
It's not easy at all, but I think once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. I fell into non-league football really because I was a Wigan fan, as we've mentioned, and for 20 years I went home and away to every single game for 20 years. But for me, I wanted an involvement in a football club, and the time was right when my son wanted to play football. So he was about 8-year-old and he was coming and finding a club. My kind of like you guys with your hometown team my hometown was Ashton Town, and when I took my son there just for some training, I felt that I had more value helping a football club than watching a football club weekly. I just wanted to see what I could do as a person, have an influence, if I can have an influence in signing a player, in getting a sponsor, in whatever it would be. I just felt that was my role within football. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey, but you put in a hell of a lot of work. Luckily, well, I dare say luckily at the start, I worked nights for a living, so I literally worked nights and then run a football club during the day, and I did that for years upon years upon years, and me sleep probably went from, when I was at college, it was 10 hours a night to 2 hours, 1 hour a day sometimes, and the adrenaline gets you through. But it's times when you play games, it's 90 minutes, it's all about 90 minutes, and the influence that we can have as all as individuals, well, whether it be a player or a manager, we're influential people, and that's why we're sat around this table, and it's been a ride for me that I'll never ever change. Ashton will always be my hometown club, and I think I did for well in my time there, and but it was time to move on. Just only on the basis of football is money orientated, and sadly I'm not got a pot of gold, so I need to go to somewhere that I can have a bit more influence and pass the job on when I think I've done it to its max, which was what Ashton was.
And what do you think about the amount of money that exists in non-league football? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Considering the size of some of the crowds that some of these clubs are getting, I don't know where they get the money from.
Yeah, no, it's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. And again, I go back to when I first started at Ashton, there was only probably 2 teams who paid in that league, and it was obvious who them teams were because it was 1 and 2. It was literally 1 and 2. And it took a hell of a long time for us to get a budget together at Ashton, but it's hard to do. It's totally hard to do. Every team pays players' expenses, no matter what level we're at. Even if we go Sunday League football, you go into Liverpool, it's probably more competitive than some of the games that we go to ourselves financially, which is just ridiculous. But it is what it is. That's what we're in it for, and it's about the rallying around. I think we go back to COVID. I mentioned COVID before. COVID, in a weird way, did non-league football a lot of good, on the basis that it turned a fair few people's heads from the professional game, watching the professional game, maybe paying 30 to 50 quid a ticket. These guys have got families, so then all of a sudden they're spending £100 on a game. When COVID was still going and we were allowed to play, quite a few jumped on that bandwagon of watching non-league football. And that's certainly where I've seen an incline. Certainly when I go back to Ashton's attendances, it doubled, it tripled. But that was so vital to the club because it made the club sustainable. And that's for me, that's the bottom line at any club, it's sustainability. I feel for you guys being, not having a town, a ground to play in within your own town, because your job's 10 times harder than what I've ever been in at the minute. Because sustainability is the key. And if you're not playing in your own town, you're 1 behind already.
Certainly is. I've explained it to anybody that listened to me before about Matt Potter. When we brought him into the club, we thought we were going to have a decent enough budget for him to play with, and it didn't quite work out for him. I think if we could have provided him with the tools, he would have done a decent enough job. But there's just no money there. I'm playing away from Skem every single game. I know it's only 7 miles away, but it has a huge financial implications on the club, and it makes things desperate at times, doesn't it, Gordon?
Yeah, it does. I mean, not only we've got to pay pitch hire at Bersker. Bersker are fantastic with us, we've got to say, but we still have to pay for the privilege of playing there. And then historically, as you know, Frank, Bersker and Skem, many years ago, never the twain shall meet on the football pitch. It was, it was like Liverpool and Everton, City and United. It was just never the twain shall meet. And that is still there to a degree. Just getting some of the supporters to Bersker has been difficult, but we're slowly getting them back. And Paul Gilchrist's done a fantastic job, redeveloping the club there. And
that's quite bizarre, really, isn't it? Because Paul, who's obviously the chairman of Bearsco, he provides all the post-match hospitality, food for the home and away players, including his wife. You wouldn't have imagined that a few years ago.
No, and it's what a lot of people don't see. You know, we see a lot behind the scenes, but they are very supportive of us. But obviously, it's a cost to us, and the lack of fans coming across. They're coming more and more. But you know, if we could go back to the JMO, you know, we can double the attendances tomorrow. I reckon we'll double them just by being at the JMO.
Well, certainly with Pascal as the manager, I would imagine so. What do you think of non-league football? What's your first take on non-league football now that you've been involved as a manager?
I've been involved as a player as well, so I know.
Yeah, but in terms of management, what's your view of non-league football?
My view, no. What I say is you see so many different managers, you know. Every manager is different, you know. So maybe some play the higher level, maybe some play only semi-pro, you know. They know how to develop player, you know. So like you have to take it how it is, you know what I mean? So that's how I do.
You wouldn't imagine, certainly up the higher echelons of football, you wouldn't imagine changing your changing rooms from one week to the next. So you were playing in the away. you were housed in the away changing room this week.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a problem about the changing room. You know what I mean? It's just about when you put your feet on the pitch and how you perform. That's only the reason why you play football.
And what do you think of the support that you get at Skem at the moment?
Yeah, the support has been great. You know, the many fans coming been great. You know, they still support even we lose 6-0 last night. They still behind the club, you know, that's the most important things, you know. That's
so a quick mention for the Skem Ultras, as they're called.
Huh?
Say hello to the Skem Ultras.
Hello to the Skem Ultras. Yeah, so no, the fan been fantastic at the since my time here. So yeah, so I hope we keep pushing us like this, you know. See the 2 draw we do against Chedderton and Pilkington, they've been fantastic, you know. Even last night they've been fantastic. So yes, like when you play football, you need your fan with you. So hopefully they keep pushing us and do the business, you know. And we know the goal what we need to achieve this season, and that's only what we focus on.
So at this point of conversation, like you say, we had them 2 games with the last minute equalisers against Chedderton and Pilkington, and then we had as it stands right now, we lost 6-0 to Cone last night. Was that a one-off? Can you put your finger on it? What happened? Where did it all go wrong last night?
I don't know, you know, it's football. Sometimes it's happening in your way, sometimes it doesn't happen in your way. So like I say to the player, you know, we do 2 steps forward, and after the third step we go back again to work again, you know, like to try to back confident again, you know. Like, look, we drew 2 games, Chedderton and Pilkington. If we get a good result last night, that's will give you big confidence, you know, like to go play against Bury, and that's when you get confident, when everyone is confident, you know, at the football, you know. You can't do a good result. Now we have a step back and to go bounce against Bury. Won't be easy, but like I say, when you play football, you know, you play the top of the league, you always want to show yourself. So hopefully the player pull himself out together and show they deserve to be in my team and defend Skem shirt.
And has it taught you a thing or two about yourself being involved in management?
No, it's not only by myself, you know. It's by everyone, you know. I mean, it's by everyone involved in the club, you know. It's by every player, you know. I never put myself in the front, you know, because I play in the Premier League. Doesn't matter. His time is finished, you know. Now I'm the coach of Skem, you know, and I think the team passed before me, you know what I mean? So I keep telling them all the time, you know, in training, it doesn't matter about me, you know, it doesn't matter about the TV, it doesn't matter about the social media, it's matter what we do in training and what we do on the Saturday on the pitch.
But it's nice to keep living off the exhaust fumes of the popularity that we're getting at the moment.
Yeah, it's good, you know, but it would be more good if we wasn't in the bottom of the league, you know. So that's me. It would be more nice, you know.
Tell me a little bit about, obviously, once you left football, you dropped into the lower leagues and you played a bit of non-league football, like you say, and then how long was it before you set up your academy?
How long it been? Like my academy be set up maybe 4 years ago, I think. Yeah. So yes, I decided to do it because I think, like you say, like Mark say, it's non-league. It's so many potential player there, and they never get the chance to go play higher, you know. And I set my academy to do these things, you know. Player who left, who been released for academy, you know, or want to play football, you know, and they don't have this opportunity, you know. So I give them the opportunity to have, if they're good in the football, they can't make it. If they can't make it in football, so they always have the plan B, you know, to still be involved in the football industry. So that's why I do my academy for, you know, to don't let anyone be on the street, you know, and give them opportunity to training every morning, you know, and having sometimes some game against some pro academies or semi-pro, you know, and test the level.
And if the chairman of Skelmersdale United Football Club was to give you a decent enough budget, how would you manage the club? Would you manage it differently, and what kind of players would you be bringing in?
I will manage it differently, yes, because like every club, if you have a good budget, you know, you can attract good player, you know, and make the team stronger as possible. You want, you know, every team, if City didn't have money before, they wouldn't make that team they had and win Champions League or three trophy in a row, you know, same as Man United, same as Chelsea, you know. But like I say, when you get money, you do everything. So, but now we don't have, so that's how we have to manage with and try to save the club, you know, try to bring people on board, you know, who like football, who want to help the club to move forward. Yes, that's we need, you know. So like, yeah, we try my best, you know, like as a manager and ex pro to make sure everything went properly.
Yeah. And Gordon, obviously a lot of people think that when we brought Pascal to the club, we must have a bigger budget than we claim to have, but we're definitely boss of the budget league as well as the North West Counties League.
Still getting asked now. Come on, you've got to tell us how much you're paying Pascal. Nobody believes the guy wants to do the job.
No.
You know, for free at the moment.
Like I say, you know, like.
But it's a foot in the door. I know we've had the conversation, Frank. We've not, you know, we've given Pascal a chance to manage, which others haven't. In the ideal world, I see Pascal with us a year or two, keep the club up, do something with the team, and a bigger club will come along. And it's a philosophy that I got from Mark when we worked together at Ashton Town. You know, if a player wants to go on and improve at playing at a higher level, then they go with, you know, our best wishes. And the same with Pascal. Keep this club up, do something with this club, and you'd probably be amazed what doors will open for him. You know, the people who didn't give him the chances before will be knocking on his door. And even if we've got a budget, then Frank, I don't think it'll be big enough to keep him.
It's Christmas coming along, so
I wonder what our Christmas presents are going to be this year, eh? Points, that's what we need. Points,
that's what we need, yeah. But the thing is, you know, at this level in semi-pro, any team can beat any team. You can't be first in the league and the bottom one can beat you easily, you know. It's the same as the Premier League, you know. Now, you know, any team can beat any team. So that's what I like about football, you know. It's not like the big six, you know, and anyone else, you know. It's like now you see every team can beat any team. Yeah. So yes, it's still plenty point to pick, you know. Season's still long, you know, but
we're at the halfway point. I think the halfway point.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think you still have point to pick, and when you see the difference between the bottom and the one in the top, you know, like it's only 8-point difference, you know. Like I say, if we win. I
think when we beat Barnoldswick Town 4-1, I think they were in the top 5 then.
I mean, you see
the Chatterton game a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, we got a very late equaliser.
Yeah,
we could have won it.
Yeah.
with early chances.
And they were in third place,
Charlton
weren't
were
they?
third
Yeah,
at the time.
the same. Look, Pilkington
You know,
as well. You know, I mean, we get plenty chance as well to finish the game, and we don't. That I say, it's just confident. You know, if the player get confident, you know, like first, it's clean sheet. You know, what I mean, if you get clean sheet, you're capable to win any game. You know, 1-0 or you know in 90 minutes or 80 minutes. You can. Yeah, like you do, you know, when you was at Pilkington, you see how you was winning game, you know what I mean? 1-0, sometimes it's difficult game, but everyone, you know, like pull together, you know, and work together as a team, you know, yeah. So I think that's things we need to find, you know, in our team, like everyone want to work to each other, you know what I mean? That's, I need to and put in, you know, and maybe we get better, yeah.
I think from a chairman's perspective, we've all been chairman of a football club at one stage or another. The dream of winning a lottery at non-league level, it must be something where we all go to bed, we put our head on the pillow, and as a non-league chairman, we think we're going to change things by a big lottery win. Gordon and I talk about it on a regular basis. I'm sure, Mark, you must dream about it yourself. What would you do with? I think it's 54. It was 54 million last night. Don't think it was one. So it's rolled over.
My numbers didn't come in last night, Frank. We're not.
But it's rolled over. So what would Mark Hayes do with a big lottery win?
Oh wow! Well, as you say, it's dream come true material, isn't it? You know. You've got more money in the pot, you play bigger. You know, ultimately, it would be still all about sustainability. I'll never change my tune on that one, but you'll be doing it with a hell of a lot of a bigger smile on your face, and you can build and develop the ground that can accommodate fans. That'll ultimately give you the budget to continue further. But yeah, that'd be a dream come true and a half, and might not have to tell the missus that I did have the winning ticket. It might have to be something else, but you know.
And what would you do, Gordon, with a big win?
Big win is put a ground back in Skem. You know, I know we're working towards getting there, but a big lottery win has got to be get a ground. And as Mark alluded to there, once we're on a ground back in Skem, the fans will come back in the droves, I suspect, and hopefully success will follow on. But the crux for us is getting the team back into the town.
I think the predicament that we're in, we've getting back to Skem is the big goal, of course. And when we've been to other grounds and we've seen the bare minimum, we've thought to ourselves, at one minute we're thinking this is a bit of a dive, and the next minute in another breath we're thinking to ourselves, this is
I wish we had this.
Yeah, I wish we had this, because it might be basic, but it's something to build on. We haven't even got that. Yeah. And that's the big worry, of course. And speaking to, because I've been talking about quite regular at the moment, is what's gone on at Wrexham Football Club with the Hollywood stars. That's an amazing story. What do you think, Pascal?
That's good, you know. Yeah,
it's good for football.
Yeah, they get the club promoted, you know, to the next level. So yeah, they're doing a good job. Yeah, they bring money in the club. You know, no one will expect that. You know, from a low start. So yeah, if we can't get a low start back in Skem, it would be nice. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Definitely. I was talking to Daniel Taylor yesterday from the Athletic FC, and he writes for the New York Times. He was shadowing you yesterday.
Yeah.
He was a bit like a shrinking violet in the corner of the room. He didn't know where to put himself last night.
Yeah,
particularly at half time. Did you go easy on him?
Yeah,
I believe bottles were thrown and all kinds.
No, I don't throw bottles.
No, but I think Ben Barnes did.
Yeah, just to talk, and after the game, I just sit down, you know, like just quietly, you know, just talk easily, you know. If someone have to say something, you know, and say it, you know, we're there to create something, you know, like to don't talk behind back of people, you know. We are together, we say things like a man, we take it like as a man, you know, and we take it and to move on and to do better, you know, to the next game. So that's I try to implant here and see where we go for.
Because that's what Daniel Taylor said, actually. He said, if you look at the story with Wrexham and you look over in America now, all the Americans are going crazy over non-league football. And he said this article, if it makes the New York Times, the online version of it, he said it might attract a billionaire. So
Wow.
We hopefully we get a billionaire on board, you know, and everything will be all right, you know.
what would we listen? I don't know what.
Everything will be all right. We move forward and we get result, we get player we want, you know, and
Yeah. We could go all the way from the Northwest Counties to the Premier League. Do you think that's
Oh,
possible?
well, that's a dream. That's what you have to put in your head. If you get stay, next season is promoted, and if you promote it again, next season you promoted. That's how you set your goal. You know what I mean? Yes, every season. Yep.
But probably getting back to Skem for us is the most important thing. How do you move forward? Just tell me what a sporting director does, by the way, at the club that you're at now, FC St Helens. What's your role?
I dare say it's a chairman role, you know, but they've got a very good chairman in place, and there was no reason at all for me to even think about that position. I came to FC St Helens to add my value. What I'm called, I'm to be fair, I'm not that bothered. It's sporting director for me it suited what I'm doing now in full time work. And it's anything and everything on the pitch and off the pitch. You know, it's about sustainability. I know it's probably saying the same record, but that's what I'm concentrating on: sustainability off the pitch, and on the pitch. I'm adding value, whatever's needed. From coaching, we've just employed 2 coaches behind the scenes. We're kind of in a tiny bit of a rut at the minute where we've not won for 6 games, but luckily we're top of the league. You know, and it's about creating the right environment for the first team manager to kick on to that next level. So yeah, it's titles irrelevant for me. I'm enjoying time helping a football club and adding my value.
And what's your hopes for the future, Mark?
What personally, or just
personally, football and personal.
Yeah, well, immediate. FC St Helens will win the league. That's full stop, end of story. That's what I'm in football for is to win things. And the way I see it is we've got 15 games. So when in your division with Skem, you've got quite a few more games to play. We're a smaller division, the one below, but we've got 15 games to win a league. That's full focused, and we will be doing that. And at a personal level, you know, I'll never give up on my dream on working for Wigan Athletic one day. To have that badge on my, on my shirt, it'll be my dream come true. So one day, you never know, but that's certainly what I aspire to.
And who'd be your first appointment as manager? all going well here if he's successful at Skem and you get your job at Wigan.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
We need to look forward to maybe not 6-0 like that happened last night, but certainly build on that.
Yeah.
So finally, for Gordon, how do you see our season going? What's your hopes and aspirations?
The aspiration is to stay in the league, obviously, and I do think we've got the manager and a good squad of players together now that can do that. We've seen it in 3 or 4 games. Last night accepted, you know, there's been some good results. It's just a case of the team gelling. I'm sure the results will come, and just stay in the league and then kick on next season. Fresh start next season. Then you start with a clean slate. Say, right, let's go again, but start at the top of the table, not at the bottom as we have done this year.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Pascal, your ambitions?
Yeah, my ambition is always higher. You know what I mean? So my ambition is just move from this bottom line. You know, make the club, secure the club. You know. And see what the future brings for everyone, you know. And like Gordon say, next season to go back to GMO, you know, fresh, you know, and start a new season with 0 point like everyone, and try to do something big and really big. Yeah, and try to attract more people to the club and make it worthy. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know is that and I don't know where you get the energy from, but you travel backwards and forwards from Newcastle because you live in Newcastle, and you work in Manchester during the week. So just explain a little bit about where you get those energy levels from. I mean, my wife thinks you need a good
energy
kind of
level.
scouse, like.
Nah, you know, like it just to whatever it make you happy. You know what I mean? So I have football in my life. Football was always my life. So I still have football in my life. So that's always make me happy. And I have a great family with me. So they will support me, they will push me. So yes, everything is good. And look, I'm healthy, you know. So no, I'm okay. So I feel great. So it doesn't matter the distance, you know. When you want to achieve something, distance doesn't matter.
And obviously, you must have a really good wife to support you.
Yeah, you have to have a soldier next to you, yes, to support you all the way along. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Listen, my final question is for our star guest, as I ask all my guests at the end of the show. If there was one thing you could change about the world, Pascal, what would it be, and how would you do it?
Wow, me, I would like it be warm every day.
Because what a lot of people don't know is that you, up to last night, you on British turf, you'd been unbeaten in 3 games because you'd beaten Barnoldswick and you'd had 2 draws. In between that, you were in Guadeloupe, seeing your mum for the first time in 10 years. So you come back and you were at Pilks then. You were rather quiet. I noted that, but it was cold.
I know, no. Last night was okay. You know, when you in bench, you know, if I was just sitting down and not moving, yes, I would be cold. But when you're moving around, you know, and you be part of, you know, the game, you know, so yes, you're warm, you know, because I don't like to sit. It's like I'm on the pitch as well. I do this every day, so it's good. Yeah, but if I have to change something, I told you have to be warm every day. Yeah,
that's a difficult one, that though. How would you manage that one?
I don't know how I manage that one, but I will.
I think you have to start praying. We'll all have to start praying for better weather, won't we? Listen, it's been an interesting interview. Thank you to Gordon. Thank you to Mark, and a big thank you to Pascal.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's been a pleasure to have you here today.
Cheers, Frank.
Cheers, Frank.
God bless. Thank you.